CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
Good evening, I'm Andrew Johnson. Hudson Mack is away tonight. Thanks for joining us. The BC Nurses Union is raising the alarm about overcrowding at Victoria's Royal Jubilee Hospital. Nurses say the situation is so serious that over the weekend a patient was housed in a waiting area. The Nurses Union complains the room has no access to oxygen, no washroom, and no call bell, so its members cannot provide proper care. The Vancouver Island Health Authority is investigating but says that kind of situation is rare. CTV's Stephen Andrew reports.
The emergency room at Royal Jubilee Hospital is so over capacity, the Nurses Union says patients are waiting to be admitted to hospital. On New Year's Eve alone, the union says, emergency room staff were so busy they were looking for beds for 26 patients.
Then patients are being moved into, well, what we heard was at least one patient into a sunroom on one of the units.
And this is the area where a patient spent the night on December 30th, essentially a waiting room without a washroom and hand-washing facilities. The Nurses Union calls it an unsafe situation.
There isn't any oxygen suction, no call bells. They've put, I understand, just a little bell on the table for the patient to ding, like you would at a store if you needed service.
The Vancouver Island Health Authority says emergency rooms across the country are busy during the holiday season. And it is defending the decision to place the patient in the lounge.
This is a very, very infrequent, sporadic practice that we do to ensure safety in the emergency and to ensure that patients are in the appropriate location for their care.
But the Nurses Union believes patient care isn't just about space.
It's very serious. It's not meant to be an area to provide nursing care. And it's not staffed.
But not all of the rooms in the new patient care centre were full on December the 30th. That has VHA now asking itself why the patient was placed in the sunroom.
We're assuming that there was a good clinical decision made by staff, but we're looking at that because there were other options for that patient.
The health authority says it is also working on a plan to prevent the situation from happening again.
Stephen Andrew joins us now live with more. Stephen, if someone is heading to the hospital or the ER right now, do they need to be worried about getting a room?
No, they don't, Andrew. I mean, the new patient tower was built to handle 2 beds per room in emergencies. It's not an ideal situation, Andrew, but it's an option. But if the Nurses Union says if the health authority decides to add more patients to those rooms, it also needs to add more staff to care for them. The other issue that would help a bit would be moving seniors from acute care beds to long-term care. Now, that could also include setting up support at home, and basically that would take the pressure off those beds in the Royal Jubilee Tower, Andrew.
All right, Stephen, thank you.
You're welcome.